Engelbert, thank you.
Is it working? Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Rhonda and I actually are working with Pan Pacific University in the Philippines, and we would like to present this action plan. I don't know if it's going to work with Bangladesh also with the case. It's quite a bit complicated, but ours is entirely different also. We're deeply happy with the gathering that we are having today, LBD 10, and thank you, Professor Dara, for inviting us. It's been a while since I last saw you in Manila, and I can't believe we're in Turkey. Our university is a private university in the Philippines. It's in the northern part, and the northern part has a lot of mountains. And having said it has a lot of mountains, it also has rivers where actually the water are actually flowing. We have 4 corporate values: pioneer, innovation, or compassion, service, and truth. Sorry about the spelling service. We would like to innovate, be creative, to be compassionate to our environment and our fellow men. We got a praise from our peers that we're the only one in the university or the academy who included compassion as part of our. But we wanted to highlight that compassion is all about our environment because our planet is our only home. Service, we know that, and the last one is truth, which basically is what Harvard University is pursuing, and we wanted to copy that also. We wanted to pursue truth. Recently, we launched this new logo of our university. The first one was circle, but we launched it into a triangular one. You can see the letter P and the letter U in the logo, but it's a triangle. It's delta, which speaks of change, and we wanted to create change in our society, not just to parrot or to educate our students, but make them game changers also. From our chairman, he said we wanted to build better lives, and true enough, our university started with a very, very small campus. Our students back in 1993 were paying us eggplants, believe it or not, charcoals, and chicken, because the kids were not able, or their parents are not unable to sell it in the market. And they would say, please accept the eggplants, please accept the okra or bitter gourd, whatever that they have. And so our chairman, the founder, accepted it because they also need it inside their house. But mind you, it has come a long way, and we're building better lives. A lot of our students are coming back and they're saying, I am now a captain of a ship, because we're also with MAP, we're also, which is who's our partner also, our students are already captains or first class officers, and we're very happy with that. Northern Luzon, specifically our province is Pangasinan. A lot of you may know Manila, and our province is 4 hours away from Manila. If you know Baguio City, we're 1 hour away, and Baguio City is 5,000 feet above sea level. Northern Luzon, it has mountains, rivers, and the coastline also, and 2 dams, hydro and coal. Our province, or actually our country, is visited by an average of 20 typhoons every year. The latest was Yolanda, we have Ondoy, Haiyan, the biggest typhoon that ever hit land. We're not so proud about it because a lot of people died and we lost a lot of properties and lives also. Landslides, including muds and rocks, especially to where the road that I travel every day from the mountains up to my workplace. I drive 2 hours every day, and I can see a lot of stones, muds, and rocks, especially right now when it's raining. Storm surges also are actually one of the most dangerous things that are happening in the coastlines. And rivers are actually causing the floods. We have a mall which is submerged in water back in 2003, I think, or 2002. It was one of the biggest malls, chain of malls in the Philippines, but it's submerged in water. And you know what happens inside. Everything was insured, but they can't sell it again. So they have to open it for the public. And the public, of course, enjoyed the free ration of goods, but it's actually just for survival. Interspersed with these floods, or we call it El Nino phenomenon, we have La Nina phenomenon, which almost every 4 to 6 months in every year, we have drought also. Well, climate changes is actually biting us in the Philippines, especially in the provinces where agriculture is the main source of income. Now, having said that, our university doesn't want to make profit alone. Thanks to our partner from Malaysia here for reminding us about CSR, community or community extension, and our university is part of the community, and we can't just say, we're teaching them. They're becoming captains, or they're becoming officers, or they're becoming world-class professionals. But we need to take care of the community where our university is standing also. Our program aims to prepare communities with possible hazard exposure and increase preparedness. Well, to prepare is actually to prevent the loss of lives. I'm quite surprised about yesterday's paper that during an earthquake only one died, and that's really nice. Which reminds me also, if we could have prepared for the 1990 earthquake, which struck the northern part of the Philippines and killed a lot of people. A lot of hotels fell also, and guests actually are inside the hotels. I was grade school back then. All we can do is to pray. But then if we have constructed good buildings, if we could have talked about disaster preparedness, then we could have prevented the loss of lives. But right now, our students are doing extension work. But what we wanted to do is to kind of put the concentration in disaster. We wanted to conduct seminars, workshops, and training so that we can prepare the community where we are into, where the university is into. A lot of our students whose means of living is farming, and because of this, they can also be directly affected by typhoons or the floods. And a lot of us are losing their crops every year. We wanted to understand risk disaster. We wanted to tell them that your area might be a possible way where the floods may flow. We wanted to tell them that. And true enough, this is actually a continuation of yesterday's sharing, that we can use the chieftains of villages. We can also use our priests, because we are a Catholic nation, and also other religious people who can help us talk about these things in our community. We wanted to raise awareness by including in our curriculum this disaster preparedness. We have curriculum mandated by the Commission on Higher Education, but it doesn't talk much about disaster preparedness. We wanted to talk in every subject possible: science, English, history. Yes, the place where the river is, the water is running from the river, where the SM Mall, where the mall was standing, was once upon a time already devastated. And that mall owner was unable or did not make his own research that in that place water can flow. And true enough, they forgot history. We forgot to study history, and it happened again. And the last one in the action plan is to create a disaster response team or community response team. I got a word from Dr. Smith a while ago, the community response team. What we wanted to do is to tap our students. We have students in maritime, we have criminology students, and we have nursing students and pharmacy students. The men in maritime and criminology are strong enough and responsible enough also because they go to trainings like basic safety, fire safety, etc., in which we can share it to the community. They may not be licensed firemen, they may not be licensed, it doesn't matter. Like driving a truck that has water and delivering it to the place where the firemen are in need of water is something that can save lives at homes. First aid also. Freshman nursing students or pharmacy students should learn, and they are actually learning. And we should not only keep those learning in our school community, but in every angle where help is needed. I'm an advocate of, it's not so bad that university owns an ambulance. In the Philippines, a health center in every town has an ambulance. And you know how many cases of emergencies happen every day, every night. And there's only one ambulance. And what if our university has, let's start with one. And we can transport a patient with our nurse, who is a faculty, and also a volunteer, who is a student, and transport it to the nearest hospital where first aid is needed. Then we can save lives. I hope it's going to happen. Fire truck, there's one fire truck in every town or in every city. But what if our university can have or can buy a second-hand or third-hand fire truck and let our criminology students man it? Of course, their parents would say, don't volunteer, you might die. But it's the only way where they can learn. You break through the fires. Of course, there is supposed to be debate. How far can they go? But we wanted to go back home after this. And we wanted to start doing this awareness seminars, every village will do it. And trainings for a community response team. So that we can feel. We have adapted villages. It's in the picture. Our students are planting something in one of our adopted village. And we wanted to adapt as many villages as possible that we can take care of. We have started this one and I think it's going to work. I'm actually with the international linkages, but we can ask other offices also to help and other schools to help also, especially nursing and pharmacy, because help is needed to save lives. And of course, the College of Education or the School of Education students, they know how to talk because they are future teachers, and I'm sure they can invite more participation for seminars and safety, disaster preparedness seminars. Our presentation, I would like to end this one. We cannot stop natural disasters, but we can arm ourselves with knowledge. So many lives wouldn't have to be lost if there's enough disaster preparedness. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I have some comments on the action plan. Rhonda, would you like to go and sit there together and face the questions? Questions, please.
I ask a question.
Nabi, yes, question, yes, please.
First a question. Thank you for the presentation and the action plan. And I want to know if you have a GIS and remote sensing course for students at your university. GIS, Geographical Information System, and Remote Sensing. These courses. Why I ask this? Because, for example, in the case of flood, if you prepare a map and you identify the communities which are in risk, we call it inundation map of the river. So it shows that when the flood comes, which households or which area will go under the water. And to prepare this map, you need also satellite imageries. And after that, when you prepare the area and the map is there, so it shows that this house is in danger. And in this manner, you can just go and talk to that people with the map. There is a Chinese verb, and they say that one map saves thousands of words. You just show them that, hey, you are in risk, and they see it, and after that you can implement your action plan more effectively.
Thank you for your question. To answer that, first we have to, I guess, look at the level where Commission on Higher Education enters into the curriculum. Right now, the CHED, or Commission on Higher Education, is on a transition period wherein all of the curricula are basically new. And sad to say, the GRS that you are talking about is not included. But if we again take a look at what the Philippines is, how does it fare in terms of disaster resilience and risk management, is I think we're not as, in a scale of 1 to 10, we are still below 5. So having said that, we will be considering that, adding that into our own curricula with the help of our computer science and IT students.
And also I offer something to prepare this map. This is my specialty. I can assist. I need some data, and after that we can discuss with you what we need. And the rest I will do it. And when we say remote sensing, means we can make it for Philippines, for the Philippines in Bulgaria. So this is something.
Thank you so much. I think our partner can also benefit with that. So we'll be happy to work together.
Yeah. Actually, regarding a geographic information system, it's a very useful tool for decision making. And what I did in the Maritime Academy of Asia and the Pacific, I collaborated with the scientists, the Filipino scientists, and we conducted a series of training within MAAP and within in the province of Bataan, also with the Philippine Navy. And it's the paper, I come up with a paper on that, and it can be read on the website. And I'm very grateful that now we have a new friend from Bulgaria. That's a very good, nice offer. Because it's already offering me, I have to seek and find who is an expert, not to teach us. And really, it's very useful for campus management, for research management, and even any discipline you are in, you can use that tool. Thank you.
It will be a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Other comments? Yes, Hassan.
Thank you very much for your nice presentation and speech. And maybe you should tell about more on Petra Nenkova. Is she a Czech model?
Who is she? Petra and Kodov.
Yeah.
Yes.
I actually got this from a presentation of a friend.
Okay.
So
I'm
sorry,
You
I
can't
didn't-
say that. So who is she? You need to Google who is it.
Who is that?
Who is Petra Nagoga? She could be somebody you don't want to be associated with. You need to check who she is.
Okay.
Is she a nice person or not a nice person?
And lovely person.
She's a lovely person.
Yeah.
Hassan knows who she is. And who is she? Who is she, Hassan?
It's a supermodel.
Supermodel.
She's a chick. Yeah. A chick model.
Yes.
Manchester.
It's a beautiful woman.
She's activist for social justice.
Also, she's an activist.
Yes, so she's an activist for social justice. It's more relevant to us than whether she's a supermodel or not. Okay? She's a social activist.
Thank you.
Other comments? I have a civil comments. I'd like to go to your action plan, if I may. Because it's one of the features is to look at the presentation of the action plan. Okay. So for general features of an action plan presentation, the first slide is clear. We don't know where you're from. The second slide, that tells us who we are. And it says it's Pan Pacific University, and we have to presume you're from Pan Pacific University, which we do. You give a truth, you're not explaining what truth is. Is apparent?
It just mentioned the one.
Yeah. So in your revision, the action plans will go onto the website as an action plan. Okay, so today, when I'm presenting action plans, we'll have a few, and I'd like to go through the comments, so please check. You've got spelling of service you mentioned already. Truth, you need to explain what truth is. I mean, academic freedom, or the pursuit of knowledge. Pursuit of knowledge is truth. Independence of politics. Okay. It's a philosophical question, do we have truth? Is there any one truth? In Reconstruction history? I know Engelbert is a philosopher, you see, so we've discussed the philosophy. It's good to have a meaningful triangle shape logo. I think it's good to have a map. So I have a map of as mentioned, which is just a map. It's the action plan or the university? It aims is the action plan. It all is. On this one, I think it's a bit small, and I think it was good that you put the strategy, action plan, and dates on the same slide. Where is the report of the workshop going to go? So at the end of the strategy, you need to make a report. So I would add that under the strategy, and then that would be take an extra month or so, some evaluation and report. And then your report will be shared or other authorities as a recommendations for change across the country and globe. So that could be good to add. And then I'd probably put persons and child in a separate slide because then it's less crowded. And then you could replace it with you have a saying here. So, what are some challenges that you think you might face in implementation?
The first challenge would be if after after all the workshops and then that would be something like political if we're going to like, give it to the government for future references. I think that's one. But as to the persons in charge who will do the thing, then there will be no problem.
And the ambulance will be based on a user pays fee or provided free? Who's going to pay for it?
It will be by the university.
The university will pay?
Yes.
Okay. And but the fee comes from the student fees, or where does that money come from?
Well, probably it will be part of the fundraising activities.
As a special project?
Yes, but not extort from the students funds for it.
So you should mention that in the plan. So the budget, you would say it's a special fundraising campaign. So make a separate slide on that. Yeah. Do you have examples of this type of community extension before? Other programs you've done with fundraising? Like for typhoon relief or disaster or other things?
Yeah, we are quite active with this typhoon relief. But again, it's actually just making them happy for 1 or 2 days. And every December we have this gift giving, and we give gifts also. But it doesn't. There's no sustainability. We did some fundraisings, like we had this run for this, run for that, and we're quite successful in extracting or getting funds from volunteer students also. And we might wanted to, I think we wanted to make this a full scale so we can buy a second-hand or third-hand or affordable fire truck or an ambulance also.
So I would suggest you've got an extra slide with the mission of the university. You've got the mission of the university. You've got the philosophical basis of community service, that you has a vision of the university. You've got some past example of a community event which was only short term and not connected. So as you mentioned orally, please also put in the writing, you want it to be sustainable.
Yes.
Therefore, the ambulance is a need. It's brainstorming, and this is what you're going to evaluate. Now, you've got here strategy, seminars, benchmarking, training, workshops. That the ambulance, you buy the ambulance, this needs to be 5 years or 10 years, you want the ambulance to be working, yeah? So maybe you need a separate slide on the ambulance project, for example. Because that's, let's say it lasts for 10 years, hopefully, or maybe more. So I would like, a bit more detail, both from your philosophical background and the mission, the strategic vision, of the centrality of the university to your local community as a partner, and how much it is a partner in peace. And then you have the national implications that it will be for the whole country. Do other people have any suggestions on how they could develop this? Charlotte?
Yes, it's a good project actually. It's going to be first the Philippines, I would say. But I think it's something you have already thought of. But see, when we're doing, I understand. I'm not in the medical field, but I think it's a common. It's ethical to ask the consent from the medical authority in the community if you're providing the ambulance. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So in case if the ambulance is not accredited by the Department of Health, for example, and there's a case that is like a terminal case happened during the transfer of the patient from one place to another, then it can be an argument. I mean, this is just an idea I'm throwing in. So maybe a like a consent, because it's going to be this, one of the stakeholder of the ambulance too would be the Department of Fed or any local government nearby. So it can be one of the stakeholders, maybe. Like it can be part of the action plan to where you can get permits, you can get to know the restrictions to what your vicinity, what are the vicinities that, or who are the community that can contact you and you're allowed to give service to. I mean, points like this, I think, so, yeah.
And does the existing ambulance services charge a fee, I think?
Yes.
And how do they feel if their business is going away by a free service of the university? Maybe they're going to do sabotage to the university, which of course is totally contrary to public health and love, but a business model. So maybe you can respond and then prepare what you think.
Thank you.
Jalika?
And also regarding ambulance, you can get it free. This is one of the best practices of Angeles University, because formerly I was director for director for research and extension services before. So one of the best practices, they came up with a project proposal, and they requested for an ambulance. And they got it free from the PCSO. What's PCSO? Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office. And they got it free because they have a hospital also. And another technique also, in terms of budget and funding, you can partner with companies within your vicinity. That is what we did in the province of Bataan. And so we can just come up with the different programs that are also their programs. Because if you share the same objective, interest, the same programs, they can come in. So that your only contribution would be your students, the manpower, the facilities available, and the other that requires money like food and other materials can be provided by partner, particularly earning companies.
Your chance to reply, Tahira. Okay, yes, and then
okay.
please stand up.
Well done. But stand up. Thank you very much. I don't know how many work done all my life. 30 years in NFPA. Only thing I'm saying is, can you be realistic? Can you finish all this in 6 months or 7 months? Be realistic. Otherwise, you will be caught. So take at least a year for it. There's a lot of actions, including the end result is actually the community awareness. Okay, and making a curriculum for that. The whole thing is going to take time. So take at least a year for the whole thing. Then you can just use. Okay.
Thank you. Please, you can reply to everything.
With points taken, thank you so much for sharing your best practice in your former university. In public health centers in each city or town, they have this, for it's PCSO or ambulance, or it becomes public ambulance. I think they only pay the gasoline and the driver. We'll try.
Provided by a partner, private company.
Yes.
So that as an educational institution, your counterpart would be manpower of the teachers, so you don't have to spend.
Okay.
That's the beauty of private public, which
you.
can form part of the action plan, like the task, particularly in terms of tasking and the project partners.
Yes. We thank you so much, Dr. Baino. And Charlotte, thank you also for raising that up. We need to seek, if it's a privately run thing, you need to seek accreditation from our government. We have a private firemen, NGO, actually in the Luban City, and we also have in Baguio City EMS, emergency something. It's an NGO also, and we wanted we wanted to partner with them. And true enough, thank you for raising it up also. The purchase of ambulance and purchase of, it doesn't happen in 6 months. Not if we are a multi-billionaire, but we're not yet there. But we'll create an action plan where we can put somewhere in the, maybe after 2 or 3 years, purchase the ambulance. But I think it's workable, and we can start working, especially next month, and it's summer, about the community awareness program, and we can start crawling already into the villages about and telling them about this one. And thank you also for our friend from Bulgaria for raising your for helping us in our project, in the implementation of our project. And thank you for
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.